This is the Out of the Way Cafe in Rockville, Maryland. We're a neighborhood restaurant that sells a little bit of rock and roll along with a lot of cheeseburgers. I'm Chip Berman. I co-own and run the Out of the Way Cafe. A few weeks ago, I had the privilege to represent restaurateurs and their employees testifying before Congress on President Clinton's economic package. My restaurant is only 20 miles from Washington, D.C. But like every restaurant, it might as well be 20 million miles for all Congress seems to know about our industry. Do you know why it's a good idea to go and personally talk to your congressman? Because Congress, like everyone else, thinks we're an extremely profitable industry. Congress doesn't know that our average profit margin is less than 4%. Just on the 5% sales tax alone, the state of Maryland takes more from my restaurant than I do. Congress thinks that if our taxes go up, we can simply increase our prices and then pass those increases on to our customers without any problem. Congress doesn't realize that if my prices go up, my customers go down, and the net amount I pay in taxes also goes down. And they don't realize the effect of FICA tax on server tips. Personally, in my store, the FICA tax on tips costs us an additional $5,800 off our bottom line. This is a payroll tax that's levied on non-payroll dollars. My customers have endured a 3-year recession. In 1991, we had to raise prices because of an increase in the federal excise tax on alcohol. Congress doesn't know that in many states like my own Maryland, the restaurant industry is the largest retail employer in the entire state. The restaurant industry employs more than 9 million people nationwide. Congress thinks that cutting the business meal deduction another 30% will have no effect on our sales. Congress doesn't know that an independent study commissioned by the National Restaurant Association estimates that restaurant sales will drop by nearly $4 billion and 165,000 people will lose their jobs. Congress thinks that the federal government is the only one affecting business. Congress doesn't know that restaurants like mine pay 25 different taxes and licensing fees to various levels of government. The Clinton administration's BTU tax will increase my energy bill an estimated 4.5% and cost my business about $768. But last year, my local government slapped on an energy surcharge that cost me an additional $1,200 a year. I tried to explain this to members of Congress in terms I thought they could understand. Cheeseburgers. My restaurant sells cheeseburgers for $5.25. Of that $5.25, my net profit is 20 cents. So what does CheeseBurger Logic really mean? I can't raise my prices. So if I'm only selling cheeseburgers, the question becomes, how many additional cheeseburgers am I going to have to sell in order to net the cost of these increased government taxes? The proposed BTU energy tax will cost me $768. So netting 20 cents on each cheeseburger, I'll have to sell an additional 3,800 cheeseburgers to pay for it. The proposed increase in the minimum wage will cost me $20,500, so I'll have to sell an additional 102,000 cheeseburgers to pay for it. The proposed increase in the excise taxes on alcohol may cost $3,800, so I'll have to sell an additional 19,000 cheeseburgers to pay for it. The 1992 increase in the Maryland State Unemployment Surcharge is already costing me $5,400, so I have to sell an additional 28,000 cheeseburgers to pay for it. That adds up to selling 150,000 more cheeseburgers next year. And while people love our cheeseburgers, I don't think they love them that much. Congress really doesn't know much about restaurants. I know that if Congress raises our taxes again, I'll have to start laying off great workers like Brenda Bishop and Suzetta Harrison. How is our country going to create more jobs if the restaurant industry alone lays off 165,000 workers? And if all these facts don't convince Congress, ask them if they'd like to buy 150,000 cheeseburgers.